Okay, so today is Saturday before Divine Mercy Sunday, and we're continuing this preparation for this great feast. And today I'd like to touch on the theme how to ask for forgiveness. This is something that can be difficult, this is something that can be hard for all of us, but I think that it is something that we are able to learn. And I really liked a scheme or an outline that Randy Pausch made, and he said, how to say I'm sorry. One, I am sorry. Two, it was my fault. Third, it will not happen again, right? And so that could be a good thing to do, right? And very easy to keep in mind. I am sorry. It was my fault. I will not do it again. But I'd like to also offer a few other reflections, actually, for questions that can help us when it's time to say we're sorry. Number one, is it worth it? And this might seem like an off-putting question, but I think it's important to take into account apologizing is hard for us. At least it's hard for me, and I think it's hard for most people based on the conversations that I've had over the last several years. And it takes an investment of time and energy. So if this is something that I really want to do, I have to, make sure that it's something that I really do want to do. A lot of times we can make careless mistakes that hurt others, and if we're going to invest in an apology, it is helpful to reflect on why. And most of the time it's because the person whom we offended is valuable to us. And so we want to make sure that we're able to overcome any difficulty that's there. Number two, what did I do wrong? Right? And here I think it's very important for us to start reflecting on this long before we are in that apology situation. Right? There's nothing worse than coming up and saying, I'm sorry. What for? I don't know. It's just kind of a fake, false apology, and probably is not going to move the relationship in the right direction. So it's good if I'm not exactly sure what I did that offended the other, then it could be good to have a sit down to talk about it, to try to explain. And here, ask open-ended questions, and probably focus even on the emotional response of the other person. Well, how did you feel? And why do you think that this made you feel that way? Because then you're able to see how your actions really affected the other person, and that'll set the stage for a good apology. Three, how did I hurt this person? Right? Very related to the previous question. But if I'm going to ask for an apology, I have to own my guilt, right? Maybe I am a recovering jerk, right? That's at least one way that I like to think of myself, right? That we're all trying to become better. And sometimes we just made a mistake, and it's okay to admit that. It's actually very admirable to admit that. And I found that the people who are honest with themselves are able to progress the most in maturing and becoming better persons, right? So that can be very helpful. And then fourth question, how can I communicate that I am sorry? You have to be careful with the apology. Miscommunicating at this stage can destroy all the previous work. What are you trying to communicate, right? When you open your mouth to say, I'm sorry, what are you communicating? You are trying to build or rebuild a bridge of trust with this person. And remember that the offense is mostly the emotional effects of what you did or the way it was perceived, right? And so that's where your apology has to focus as well, that you're rebuilding the trust that you have lost. Was this totally your fault? Maybe, maybe not. But you are the one who's deciding to rebuild that bridge of trust. So how to ask for forgiveness. I think this is a great help now that we're getting ready for Divine Mercy Sunday. And then just kind of a last little thought. Authentic apologies are direct, specific, and truthful. We should avoid the if apologies. I'm sorry if I made you feel bad. That's not an apology. That's just a fake, false apology. Lying, also not a good option. Often when we need to apologize, our hearts are broken as well. And that makes it a good time to place yourself in God's divine mercy. So as we're getting ready for Divine Mercy Sunday, I think this thought, this reflection on apologizing can actually be of great help to all of us, so that we can enter into the intimacy of the divine heart of Christ, into his divine mercy. God bless.